What's up, guys? It's 2 cents here. I don't normally do videos like this, so you know, I just thought I'd give it a try. I understand there's a lot of people out there who struggle in life. I understand that there's a lot of people who struggle, trying to fit in, and I've been there. I've been in really tough spots in my life. Dealing with school, dealing with college. We're in the middle of a pandemic. It's messed up what's happening right now, and what happened yesterday. I mean, what happened what happened at Capitol Hill was crazy and all, but this is gonna be strictly about personal problems. I thought I'd touch up on the idea behind like toxic friends. I've had toxic friends before. I've met people that I grew to know and care about, and those are people that I shouldn't have really gotten involved with. Now, I never really got to the point where it was like a crazy concern, like where it was like a gang or anything, or like they were just like really tough dudes who would beat up people. No, I never really got into that situation. It was more like they were just bullies and they were messed up dudes in middle school and high school. I mean, I didn't know many guys like that in high school. I knew a lot more honest dudes in high school. We were a little more mature then. But when I was in middle school, yeah, I knew a lot of messed up dudes, man. I knew a lot of messed up kids. I grew up with some of these guys too, and they just didn't grow up the same way I did. I don't know if it was because there was something they were trying to prove when they were in middle school, trying to look cool and everything, but yeah, it was just a different like way to look at them that I didn't like. I didn't like looking at them a certain way. I'm trying to talk, guys. Yeah, one time I was in middle school. There was this one dude, and he was a really good friend of mine. We had known each other for like 3 years. Uh, anytime I thought like I was in trouble, I could count on this guy. He had my back every second of the way. He was there for me. He was a good friend. Until when we started like going through our school years, he was really slacking off in his classes, and he was really trying to look cool for everyone, and he ended up getting held back. uh yeah, and what ended up happening is like our friendship started breaking apart. I didn't talk to him as much as I used to. I don't know if it was him because this was a long time ago, but I think we got into an argument about something. uh we really didn't talk much after that. Look, it's tough. um Guys, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you guys or anything, and I certainly don't want to be responsible for any trauma you guys might experience. Like, the last thing I want to do is make you guys feel uncomfortable. And this is YouTube and all, but I try to make sure people are comfortable with the way I sound, with the way I'm talking. Good friends are gonna come and go. It's gonna be hard. Sometimes you're gonna lose people, and by losing them, I don't mean they're just gonna like disappear from your life or anything. They're just not gonna be the same person anymore, and you won't recognize them. They'll be very different people, and that just happens. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying you should expect that to happen, but you should definitely be ready just in case something like that happens. And like, if you have good friends, try and hold on to them for as much as you can. But if you see that they're doing stuff that they're not supposed to, like they're picking on people, and they do this constantly and constantly, it's one thing if your friend is having like a bad day and they're just not themselves that day and that's it. But if someone is constantly picking on somebody else, and they're trying to get you to do stuff again, like I'm not telling you guys to like expect this every single time, but sometimes you got to be ready, because things aren't always going to go our way. They're going to be messed up people that drop into our lives that might try to deceive us and take advantage of our feelings, or we'll have people who we've grown to know and care about, and they just won't end up being the people we knew before. My friend, when I was in middle school, he ended up getting held back twice, and by then I was pretty much in the eighth grade. I was ready to leave. I was ready to go, like, leave school and everything. And Yeah, we never spoke after that, and it was messed up. It was hard to get over because he was a really good friend of mine. Like I could really count on him. We had great conversations. We would talk about like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. We liked a lot of the same things, and I considered him one of my best friends because like we hung out all the time in school. It was really fun knowing him, but he didn't want to he didn't want to he didn't want to leave where he was. He wanted to stay like a kid, and I couldn't handle that. If I'm gonna grow up, I expect my friends to grow up too, and they don't have to grow up the same way I do, but they have to grow up. They gotta get their act together. They gotta act more mature when they get older. And sometimes like that can be hard for some people to do. Some people it might be slow. They might have a slower process, and there's nothing wrong with having a slower process, but he started doing all this crazy stuff. He started trying to act cool. He started hanging out with a bunch of girls. He had like one time I saw him, he had like two girls. He was cursing at people. He had two girls around his arms. Like he had his arms around two girls. It was crazy. I couldn't recognize him. I couldn't look at him anymore. And those are the type of people you want to stay away from, because toxic friends, they're not good for you. They're not. And if they're toxic, they can't be your friend, man. Like, if your friend expects you to fight somebody for no reason, and they didn't do anything to you or them, that's just bullying. They're asking you to be a bully. Don't do that. And certainly don't give in to peer pressure, man. It's messed up. It's messed up. Like, like we have friends and everything, but you can't just you can't just expect them. You can't just let them walk all over you, is what I'm trying to say. You can't let them walk all over you. You can't make them make decisions for you. It's important that you realize that you're in control of your own actions, and you can make your own friends. And what comes with making your own friends is recognizing how good those people are, how decent those people are, and how they act. How they act will affect things uh, for you and them if you're in a friendship. I've had a lot of friends come and go over the years. People that, I just didn't recognize anymore. I knew this one girl in middle school. We were really, really good friends. She used to be really nice to me, and then all of a sudden, she started talking all this. She started talking all this smack to people. Started talking smack to me. I'm like, what happened to you? When we were in like fifth grade, she was always nice. She was always nice. But then, right when seventh grade rolled around, she was a completely different person. She started cursing. She started insulting me. She started trying to start fights with guys and stuff. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, I felt like I wasn't even in school anymore. I felt like I was in like in the city. Like, I felt like I was like on the street talking to some crazy girl. Like, it was messed up, and there were times where I just had to say, we can't do this anymore. It's ridiculous. Because if you stay with people like that, chances are they may rub off on you, and you don't want people like that to rub off on you. You need to surround yourselves with good people. That's and that and that's and that's the way you should live your life, man. You can't just let people walk all over you. You certainly can't let them get away with crazy things like that. If you have a friend and they're doing something wrong, you have to call them out on it, because as a friend, you have a moral obligation to correct them when they're wrong. I'm not saying like it's like be bossy or anything, but you have to tell them when they're wrong. Don't force them to do anything. Don't force them to do anything if it's not life threatening or anything. But you need to let them know, like, if you're gonna do this, I can't be friends with you. We can't be like this anymore, man. We can't do this anymore. I've had to let friends go. I've had to tell people, hey, it's over. Like and sometimes most of the time it never even went like that. We just didn't talk anymore. I never really solidified anything by saying it's over. I stopped contacting them. And I don't know. In some ways I feel like I forgot about them, or they forgot about me. It was like that. It was like that most of the time. We didn't just have like conversations and say, "Oh, we can't be friends anymore." No, it would end like a nasty way. Like, it wasn't like it was over. It was over when we stopped talking. that was how I said it was over. And that's just the way it went. So it's really messed up. I hate it. I hated losing friends, man. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing to lose friends. But sometimes you gotta let people go, because you can't give them. Sometimes you can't just give them what they need to change. Sometimes they have to learn things the hard way, and sometimes they just won't change. And that's not to say that they're doomed or anything. They can find help, but they need to put in the work. You can't force people to change. It's gonna take more than a couple words and a couple, like, we can work this out. We can do this. We can do all of this. When it comes to your friends, the best thing you can do for them, the best thing you can do for them is correct them when they're wrong, and let them sort things out. And like, I don't understand like everybody's life story. I don't. People can have problems at home, and that could be like the reason why things changed. But in the end, if they start rubbing off on you, that's toxic. You can't let them rub off on you like that. If they start rubbing off on you and you start doing crazy stuff, you're you're being just as bad as them. You're doing all this crazy stuff. You don't want to do that. You don't want to go through life like that. It's not the way you want to live. You want to live a life with good, decent friends, because that's what matters. You need to surround yourself with good people in your life, and if you don't, life is not going to turn out good for you. It's going to be a hard. You're going to have a really hard life. Like, look, guys, I'm not a therapist or anything. I'm not a professional at sorting out, like, things. I'm not an analyst. I don't speak to try and get people to listen to me. This is just a video I thought about because I've understood that people go through really hard times, and we're in the middle of a pandemic where we really can't have much contact with people. Uh, you know, and it might be harder to make friends now, but I've made a lot of friends over the years. I'm living a way better life than I did back in middle school. It's been a long, long journey, and I still have a way. I still have a way to go. I still have ways to go. It's not over. I'm young, man, and I know a lot of you guys are young too, and that's why, I'm trying to tell you guys this from a perspective of someone who may not have been in your shoes. I don't know your life stories, but this is just something I felt like saying, had this on my mind. You know, you don't have to take my word for it. There's plenty of people. There's plenty of people who understand what your life is like. If you're having hard times, talk to someone, man. Talk to someone who understands. Talk to someone who can relate to you. And even if they don't relate to you, if someone's around there to listen, like, that's what matters, man. Because our voices matter, and what we say matters. And some people have had really traumatizing experiences. Sometimes, and again, like, it's not. And again, this is not coming from a place of professionalism. I'm not a professional. I'm not an analyst. I'm not a therapist. I don't fix people's lives for a living. I don't do that. I respect people who do that, but I don't. This is just something I felt like doing because, I know there's someone out there who might need to hear this. And you're not alone, man. It's hard. It's a hard life. It's a hard life for many of us, and I'm still going through it, man. Like, I still struggle with certain things in life. I'm not perfect. No one is. And that's something that we really need to address. And sometimes people don't talk about these things. The worst scars are the ones you don't see. Sometimes it really is. The worst scars are the ones you just can't see. And just because you can't see them, it doesn't mean there's nothing there. Sometimes people are just really, really good at keeping things private. And I understand if people keep things private, but when you do that, you hurt yourself even more. You can't keep something like that from people. I know I'm getting a little off topic because I'm talking about, toxic friends and stuff. If you have friends who are not doing the right thing, don't take that from them. You gotta cut them off. You can't stay with people like that, because they will rub off on you, and they will make you miserable. It's a hard life to live. Don't give up on your friends immediately, but you gotta look at all the crazy stuff they do, because in the end, like, you knew them at a certain point where they weren't like that, you know. But sometimes, people change. Friends will come and go, man. But sometimes, if they get better, sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. Sometimes people just don't change. But I guarantee you can make friends, man. You can make really, really good friends. I've made a lot of good friends, and this is coming from a person who's lost so many friends. Uh, you know, yeah, I just felt like sharing this with you guys. I'm sorry the video turned out to be pretty long, but if you guys really, really enjoyed this video, if you guys, like this conversation, please leave a like, leave a comment, man. I care about people, and I think one of the reasons why I did this video was because there was a person who commented on a video of mine and told me that I helped them with their depression. Uh, if that's you, look, man, I'm sorry for the struggle that you might be going through, but I'm so glad that you said that to me, man. I've never had someone be that personal with me over the internet, over YouTube. It's really nice to know that someone out there is doing better because of something I did. I never thought I'd be able to reach people that I can't even see. It's crazy. But yeah, anyways, guys, if you like this, please leave a like, and give me some things that you might want me to talk about. I can probably make something out of this. I never plan on making something out of this, but if you want to, please, like I love to have conversations like this with people all the time, and I know I keep saying and, uh, yeah, like you guys stay safe, okay? Things will get better. This pandemic will be over before we know it, and yeah, like again, you need to watch who your friends are. You need to watch who your friends are, because life can be hard, and especially with toxic friends. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. If you stayed, 2 cents out.